have a rapper, Tagashi. Some guy, 69. He's got 6'9" tattooed on his eyebrows. So 6'9" has been clowning on Little Reese pretty hard. Pray for him. He stole the wrong person's car today. Takashi69 wrote sarcastically on his Instagram stories feed. Takashi69 GoFundMe. Help Reese buy a car with $2,000 goal to buy a beat-up 1999 Impala. So that's, 69 might actually end up having to give Little Reese the 99 Impala when the goal is met. I don't think you're allowed to have a fake GoFundMe for something and you don't. That's fraudulent, and I'm not for sure why, but apparently Takashi 69 really doesn't like Little Reese. Now, stitches get snitches, right? Stitches get snitches. That's so fucking stupid. Grow the fuck up. 95% of the time, I don't call the cops 95% of the time unless it's out of my hands. Some dumb shit happens around me. You know, felony arson, felony animal cruelty. Really felonies of, if I don't report it, it could come back on me, so no fucking way I'm not going to let that happen for the entire whole, stitches get snitches crowd. Like, how can you stitch on a snitch? Whatever, I can see the argument, right? ACAB, all cops are bastards. And if that's the neighborhood, then I think you really have to judge your own neighborhood. But I once heard from a guy who said that a cop in the neighborhood should be assumed to be a threat to us all. And yeah, okay, maybe. I could see the argument, but the threat isn't so much that it's a government man or a lawman. It's, a homo sapien with power. It's homo sapiens that are a threat to us all. A government man or not, a lawman or not, it's the homo sapiens who are a threat to us all, which is why we must reassure each other. Emotional intelligence, I'm telling you motherfuckers, get you some. School of Life, what's up? So I want a civil society. That's the direction I'm headed towards. Noam Chomsky talks about being an anarchist syndicalist. And I like that. I'm a social anarchist or an anarcho-socialist. So that's awesome. That's really smart stuff. I like that. But these aren't intelligent anarchists. These are not intelligent anarchists. These are a bunch of open warrant crooks, and these open warrant crooks are just a bunch of fascist, racist, criminal motherfuckers. That's why they don't like government this or cop that, because they're fascist, criminal motherfuckers. Racist, fascist, criminal motherfuckers with open warrants. Of course they don't like government this and cop that. They want to carry on with their life of crime. So I'm not a slam dunk for government, but civilization is a mile wide and an inch deep. So you want me to leave the racist, fascist, criminal motherfuckers in charge? No, I don't think so. Civil society, that's the end goal, a civil society. A civil society is necessary for democratic republics to function. You can't have a republic without a civil society. What are you talking about? So when it comes to Little Reese, it looks like Little Reese is in the wrong. Now, there's some new information, so I want to update this, but it looks still like Little Reese is in the wrong. Looked like he was in an SUV that he had stolen either on that day or, a week before or whatever. The owners tracked him down with GPS, found him in the SUV in the third floor of a parking garage. They had some friends with him. They started, shooting at him, beating him up. They had called the police, so they called the police. They got Little Reese in the name of the law, vigilante citizens getting justice in the name of the law. That's fucking brilliant. And really, that's how it has to work. Cops can't be everywhere, and they can't solve all situations, so therefore, citizens must be empowered to do something, make the arrest without excessive force, and then call the cops. So that's what it looks like. That's what happened. It's what it looks like. Looks like Little Reese is in the wrong, and even those people that were videotaping the situation were assholes, saying he was leaking and laughing at him on all this shit. It looks like they may be in the right. Now, motherfuckers can yell whatever, during, a situation, so you got to pay close attention. I've turned this over in my head several times. Could Little Reese be in the right? Could he... It looks like, the story is he stole the car or whatever and got beat up, but is there something else that's going on? The Little Reese story that apparently he had told the police, which he could just be feeding some bullshit to the police. But the Little Reese story was that he had bought some marijuana or some crank or some illegal substance or some shit. And then they said, you know, but we got to go over here to the parking garage. So they had to get in the vehicle. They had to get into, he had to get into their SUV. They had to get into his SUV. How did he get into the stolen SUV? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If it's a setup, I don't understand what the setup actually is. The SUV was stolen. The owner had reported it stolen. And so the owner reports an SUV stolen and then drives up to Little Reese trying to buy some weed and gets him in the car and then pretends that he was in the car or some shit. That seems to be the only possible, you know. So maybe, right, that's a possibility. Maybe that's what's going on. But it looks like Little Reese was in the SUV. It looked like he may even been driving. So I don't know, he got into the stolen SUV with the other people. He was already in a stolen SUV and they got into, I don't understand. And so, maybe I like Little Reese in general. He never did me no wrong, right? I Don't Like is one of the greatest songs ever. So I want him to be in the right and keep on making excuses for him. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe I'm putting my goodness on him. We, the public, haven't heard anything from him nor seen him. He was actively tweeting up until the shooting. Him being a tough guy, you'd think he'd make a statement or two. Say he's okay. Say, you know, oh, he ain't worried. He ain't scared. This ain't nothing, right? Maybe he's working on $1 million book deal or a movie deal or some shit. I heard one report that said Little Reese's eye is okay. I heard another report that said Little Reese's eye was not okay. So I'm just trying to think about what is the possibility, right, if we assume that what he said to the police was true, how could that have turned into that situation? So he, you know, they found him outside. They found him on the ground floor. He was all bleeding and shaking and whatever, and there was a cop that was on the scene, and for some reason that cop, you know, clearly thought that Little Reese was in the wrong. So Little Reese's story just doesn't make sense. What does make sense is that Little Reese stole an SUV, a Durango SUV, and whether that day or later, the original owners, they called the police, they reported stolen, they had GPS on the thing, they found where the, you know, where the GPS led them, maybe told the police, hey, you know, we're about to come up on the stolen thing, they might get, and maybe they called, you know, I don't know when they called the police, but the father tries to stop Little Reese. Little Reese is in the SUV with two of his teammates, and the father comes up, hey, stop, and then they get in the car, try to drive off real fast. Shots are fired, right? The SUV wrecks. Somebody in the SUV's got a gun. They start shooting, so now you got more gunshots, and then Little Reese, you know, takes off running, and he goes down 3 flights. Maybe went down the elevator or some shit where a cop arrests and detains him very sloppily. Instead of, you know, having him arrest, they was letting him leak, right? And that's what he's leaking, right? And so, it looks to me like Little Reese is in the wrong. If he is in the right, then there's just nothing coming from his camp, nothing coming from him, nothing at all whatsoever. And so all we got to go on is essentially, you know, the reports and the video and the what have you. So there you go. That's the update was that Little Reese had told the police, and they were saying that, oh, you know, stitches get snitches or whatever. Are you kidding me? He about fucking died, but it's like, hey, not even now. Not even now do you ever talk to the cops. Look, somebody's after me. It's either, you know, if he's in the right, then it would make sense for him to. But if he's in the wrong, then it would make sense for him to. So anyways, to me it looks like Little Reese is in the wrong. I hope he gets his shit together, and I hope he just goes around the country doing a tour. He just sing I Don't Like over and over again. Metallica has been singing the same fucking song over and over again. How many comedians are out there? All they do is just, you know, Mitch Hedberg, just 5 minutes, right? You just come up with 5 minutes of material, and then you could be a comedian going all over the place. Have a one-hit wonder, right? Have a song that you can, I don't know, feel like robbing cars. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's awful. That's, what the fuck. So there you go. to me, it looks like Lil Reese is in the wrong, and I hope he gets his shit together, because that was some crazy fucked up shit. Looks like he could be, you know, a real nice guy. He also looks like he could be pretty arrogant. Thinks he's smarter and better than everybody. And then he got shot in the fucking throat, so this actually does make him, like, a legit fucking G, right? That gives him street cred like a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck is Lil Reese into? Holy fuck. There was one tweet, I'll mention this. There was one tweet, I think 2003, 2004, where the guy was sitting there saying, okay, Lil Reese, I'm out here on my feet. Where are you at? Where are you at? And then later on it said that the person was killed. So what the fuck happened? He's calling Lil Reese out, and now the person shows up dead. So that was you know, interesting. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the whole little